Hey, I'm back with another book haul because I have a problem, and that problem is every time I enter a bookstore for one book, I come out with like 10. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys all the books that I've gotten in February. So I have them sort of like organized out in front of me in like genre. So I'm gonna start out with romance. So first off, I have my book of the month, which was Georgie All the Way by Kate Clayborn, and I have yet to read this yet, so this is definitely on my list, trying to read it before February is over and I get my next book of the month. But I picked this book because I just really liked the cover, and it was the only like romance book we had, and I prefer to pick romance books for my book of the month. So this is the first book that we have. And then next I got Icebreaker. And this is a book that I originally read when it was on Wattpad, so of course I had to get it. Obviously the cover is amazing. This is the cutest cover ever, and this is written by Hannah Grace, and I am a little sad that the like binding doesn't have like the cute colors like the binding had before it was traditionally published, but this is one of the other books I got. Then I also got American Queen by Sierra Simone because I've seen a lot of this on BookTok and definitely wanted to get this book and read it. I am a little worried because I like have read about like the other books and it might not be something I'm quite into, like the romance aspects, because there are certain things when it comes to romance books that do kind of bother me a little, so we'll just have to see how this one goes. And then next we have Ricochet by Krista Becker Ritchie. And I got this because I have the first book, and I am a weirdo who likes to have every book in the series before I start reading it. So I went ahead and got the second book in the Addicted to You series. So then I got Loathe to Love You by Ali Hazelwood, and this is her like collection of novellas. And I got this because Ali Hazelwood is one of my favorite romance authors, so I had to make sure I got this one. And then next I got The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker, and obviously if you're on BookTok, you've probably heard of this book a lot, so that was one of the reasons I got it. And I haven't seen at Books A Million for the longest time, and they had it the last time I went, so I got it because I do get my Books A Million discounts. So I went ahead and got this the last time I was there. And then we have quite a few Lucy Score books because you know anything about me, Lucy Score is by far my favorite romance author like ever. So I went ahead and got a few. So I have Maggie Moves On, and this is actually the book I'm reading at the moment, and this is the one about a YouTube star who is flipping this house and she meets this landscaper, and it's a love story between the two of them. So this is one of the other books I got. And then next, I've been waiting forever for this book. I literally, like the day it came out, I like rushed to Books A Million to go ahead and get it. And it is Things We Hide from the Light. And this is the sequel to Things We Never Got Over. And this is about Nash Morgan and Lena. And I've already read this. I will go ahead and put that out there. And it was incredible. Like, I'm going to be doing a review on the two of these books, so be looking out for that. So the last kind of like romance books that I have are the Billionaire Boys, Dream Boys, whatever it's called, series by Lauren Asher. And Lauren Asher is another one of my favorite romance authors. So I went ahead and got all three of them, which the first one is The Fine Print. And then the next one is Terms and Conditions. And then I also got The Final Offer. So I have all three of these, and I'm so excited to read these ones. So then I have some like mystery books, and I just have a series, and it's A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. And I went ahead and got all of these. Just once again, I like to have all the books in a series before I read them. So I have the first one here, and then I have the second, which is Good Girl, Bad Blood. Then I also have the final one, which is As Good as Dead. And I'm super excited to read these because I've heard a lot of good things about these all over the internet. So those are the like mystery books that I have. Okay, so now I have like a ton of like fantasy, apocalyptic kind of books. So the first one I got is The Stranded by Sarah Daniels. And this is about like a group of people that ever since the end of the world happened, they've been on this cruise ship, and like they're not allowed to leave the cruise ship until finally some of the younger inhabitants decide, you know, they want to make a new life, so they go off the ship. So I am excited to read this. It's not something I would typically read, so I'm very interested to see how I like this one. And then this is a book that I had on my upcoming releases video, and that is The Last City by H.J. Nelson. And this is the sequel to The Last She, and it's also a Wattpad series, if you didn't know that. So I'm very excited to read this, and this is a really good series, and I highly recommend it if you're like into the whole post-apocalyptic book kind of thing. And then I have Of Cages and Crowns by Brianna Joy Crump, which is funny because my last name is also Crump. And this is another Wattpad book, and it's about like fantasy kind of stuff. And I honestly just got it because I like to get all the Wattpad books that are being published into physical copies, because I have a whole collection. Like that's what my book card is. It's just all like Wattpad books. So the next book I have is another Wattpad book, and it's another new release for the physical copy, and it's The Bite by Z.W. Taylor. This is about a girl, she's like running from her ex, and she escapes into the Alaskan wilderness, and she gets bit by something. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is about like werewolves, I'm guessing, considering it's about getting bitten by something. I could be completely wrong because I haven't read it, but I am super intrigued by this book. The cover is just stunning in my opinion. So I'm very excited to read this. And then next I have A Broken Blade, which is the first book in the Halfling saga. And this is by Melissa Blair. I honestly got this because the cover just seems super intriguing to me. Like, I've been putting off getting this book for such a long time, and I was finally like, you know, Target's doing the buy one get one 50% off. I'm gonna get it. So I'm very excited to read this. It's pretty thick, and I'm excited about it. So, and it's also about, I'm guessing, an assassin kind of thing. And I love like female badasses. It put a female badass as the main character, and I'm going to read that book. So then next we have Daughter of the Pirate King, and this is another book talk book that I've seen everywhere, and I'm just super excited to read it. It's also by Trisha Levenseller, and I believe she wrote The Shadows Between Us, which was a very good book. So I'm very excited to read more from her. And then next I have Bonecryer's Moon, and this is by Catherine Purdy. And I honestly got this once again. The cover looks so beautiful, so I just really wanted to get it. And I've also seen this on a lot of book talk accounts and YouTubers, so that was another reason, and I'm very excited to read this eventually. And lastly, I have two series. So the first series I have is Rhapsodic by Laura Thalassa, and I got the whole entire series in the new covers. So I have the first one, which is Rhapsodic, and then I have A Strange Hymn, and then The Emperor of Evening Stars, and then Dark Harmony. And this is a book series about a siren who's made a bunch of deals with the Bargainer, and I believe it's like the romance between the two of them. And I'm super excited to read this because I haven't read a lot of fantasy series lately. I've been mainly reading romance novels, so I'm super excited to get into this series. And then last but not least, I have a series that I didn't know about until recently, and that is The High Mountain Court by A.K. Mulford. And I went ahead and got the 3 of them, and it's not like a series, like a continuation. It's about like different characters in each one. But the first one is The High Mountain Court, and then the second is The Witch's Blade. And then I also have The Rogue Crown, and I'm just excited to read this because once again, I haven't been reading fantasy lately. I've mainly been sticking to the whole rom-coms, romance books, because I feel like that's a lot of what you see on Book Talk, so I'm trying to get back into that. Especially, I haven't read a lot of fantasy since ACOTAR hasn't had anything come out, or Crescent City, so I'm really excited to get back into fantasy. So those are all the books that I've gotten in February. I have not posted on YouTube in forever. I started it and then I just stopped because of school, but I'm getting back into it. I have a lot of videos planned and I'm super excited to get those out for you guys. So until next time, see you guys.